Good morning, you cracking humans. From Kent, the Garden of England. This farmer's just ploughed up my footpath. Tears. You!
I've been at work all day. I'm just finishing up now. And I'm heading over to Disc to meet up with all of the Cycling Victoria crew. Kipp Kaufmann and Craig Eastwood are, basically people who organise the great racing or are part of the team that organise the racing here in Victoria and other events. And, for a very limited budget, they do an amazing job. Now, this is not a paid post, or it's not I'm just exploring what these governing bodies do and how awesome they are. For the little money that they get in, they run these amazing events. Now, massive kudos to Cycling Victoria. I can't say I have the same respect for Cycling Australia, but unfortunately they're affiliated. So anyway, I'm going to go spend some time with Kipp and Craig. And to all the people, this is the first opportunity I've had to say it, to all the people who bought the Cycling Maven kit, I really want to say a big thank you. Even if you just bought a cap, that's a big buy for a lot of people, and I want to thank you as well. It's just amazing that my viewers support me so well, and Hannah. So a massive thank you from Hannah, myself, and Grayson. And I'm heading over to Disc.
What's your background? Are you a bike rider yourself?
A very slow one, unfortunately. So I've always enjoyed being on a bike. I grew up as a swimmer, and I'd often ride my bike in the summer in rural Canada. And then I lucked into a job in Canada in cycling, and ran a cycling organization there. And I'd go and do races, but I'd come probably last in all of them. And then and have been in cycling ever since. So the last 10 years or so I've been working in cycling organizations.
So you're a fairly young guy. I know when someone said go and meet Kipp, I was thinking of a much older guy. I didn't realise you'd be such a young fella.
Hopefully my years of experience in cycling bring me up in my lack of age.
No, it's all good. So so what is a Cycling Victoria? I mean, really, at the end of the day, what is the purpose of an organisation like Cycling Victoria, and what do you do?
So our overarching aim, or our vision, is to build a love of cycling, more people riding, racing, and watching. That's really what the foundation of what we do is, and so it's really important to try and connect in each of those areas. And it's a little bit different than we've probably been, but what we want people to do is really love cycling. So that means I want to follow someone on Twitter. I want to watch the Tour de France. I want to watch the local Brunswick race next Tuesday. I want to start my kids into riding and ride safe and take up a program. I want to race the National Road Series. I want to make a Victorian team. That's our breadth, and that's really what we're involved in, is all of those things.
So obviously there's Cycling Victoria, Cycling WA, and all the state bodies.
Correct.
How does Cycling Australia fit in with that? Are they sort of the overarching body, and then
Yep.
you sort of fall in under them, or how does this work?
Yeah, so Cycling Australia is the national body. They have the membership to the UCI, and really we try to work in collaboration with each other and try to support each other. If we can do that, we create a better national system. So we're the state representative, if you will. If you think in the federated model of the state government and the federal government, that's the easiest way to probably give an example of it.
Yeah. And do you work closely with the other states, or are you sort of all your own separate silos operating on their own?
There's still a bit of silo work, but it's working closer and closer together. And what I'm finding is there's more and more collaboration between them. We're probably lucky that we've been able to lead up a number of projects and initiatives, and we try to share those out because we see it as, if the whole country can be stronger, then that's good for Victoria as well.
Yeah. So the NRS, let's talk about the National Road Series. What is your, obviously we've got the VRS, which is a very strong competition, and it's fantastic racing, to be honest with you. The NRS, what part does Cycling Victoria play in that?
We, I guess the part we play is, the NRS is really in many ways started in Victoria. So the Tattersalls Cup that John Craven and Caribou Publications put on, and a lot of the great races that are before any of our time have really started in Victoria. So it's really important to us, and we have a number of events here.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is foster an environment where the NRS can be successful here.
Yep.
And that's really what we can control, is promoters wanting to be part of the NRS, councils and sponsors wanting to be part of those events. So that's the environment we try to foster. And so for us, it's really important to work collaboratively with Cycling Australia. If there's an opportunity to put on NRS events, talking about what the opportunity might be, and keeping our events as great as they can be.
Yeah. I mean, how do you feel? Is the NRS, there's a lot of word at the moment, the NRS is deteriorating, we've got these races dropping off left, right and centre. Why is that? What do you think's happening? Is it Cycling Australia letting the ball go in that department?
Look, I think there's been a lot of transition at Cycling Australia, and during that transition they had to look at a lot of things in relation to the NRS, and look, they'd probably be able to better comment on it than I, but certainly the NRS plays a really important part in developing the commercial and the athlete pathway within Australia. And Cycling Australia is clearly aware of that and committed to it, from my view. And so what I see it as is there's just a reboot going on, as there's been a transition within Cycling Australia. So time will tell, but certainly what we have are great teams, great athletes, and passionate people who want to be part of the National Road Series. We all need to work together to make sure that it achieves the heights that it should.
The UCI don't allow GoPros on bike, but you've taken a stance and gone, no, we're going to allow it in Victoria. Is that correct, and why?
It is correct. A couple of years ago we did a review of our rules. The technical committee really led it and looked at it and said there is a safe way to do this. And I think the more people would continue to talk to us about it, how there's these great media opportunities, this is the best way to get people into the sport. It's the best footage you can have.
Yeah.
Well, the great shots of the Tour de France and things are great. That's not realistic in a club crit. And so what's the best footage you're going to get? Put it on, edit it up, and you can actually see something, and it gets people excited. And so why not spread that out? Yeah. Why not have some excitement that we can sell to the world? It's our best selling point.
That's right.
And so why were we stopping the best selling point?
Yeah.
Someone's going to market the sport for us. We don't have to do anything. Why wouldn't we take that?
That's exactly right. Yeah. And so why, Cycling Australia's stance is even to not allow GoPros and whatnot. Are the other states doing it? And really, I suppose it was a ballsy choice by Cycling Victoria, because it could have sued. What would happen if a GoPro fell off, and what would you do there?
Well, I think we've been lucky to set up a really strong system and we haven't seen anything happen. So, we dipped the toe in, we made sure things were going all right, and everything has gone right. Now, ultimately something could fall off, but so could something could happen on your bike just as equally. Just as equal, something could fall off of your bike and there could be a crash. So the number of things that can happen in a race, and there's lots of them, that could happen, not many of them do happen. We can't stop progress in the face of every single risk that might be there. So certainly the other states are interested in it. Some are at different points in their stances, but we'll keep pushing forward, and we just want to see more coverage of the sport, and this is a great way.
Yeah. And a couple of final questions. So Hannah's sitting at home. She wants to get from her city commuter to into racing.
Yep.
How should she do this? If she doesn't, for example, if she didn't know me, what would be the best way she'd do this?
It's certainly what we're lucky to have is the clubs, as we talked about before.
Yeah.
The clubs are the best way. They have such brilliant people, such welcoming environments, and racing all the time. We're really lucky in Victoria. Probably have more racing than some places around the world have, and so that's the best place to start. We have a few resources around that, the beginner's guide to racing and those types of things, but it's certainly an area that we want to seek to improve upon and augment.
All right, Kipp, well, thank you for running an awesome racing series here in Victoria. Keep up the good work.
Well, thank you very much for chatting.
All right, so it was great to meet Kipp, and I met up with Craig as well, and we had a bit of a chat. Really nice guy, Kipp. I was expecting a much older guy, but he's a much younger guy than I thought. But he does an amazing job, In fact, the whole team does, of running races here in Victoria. So we're going to be doing more stuff. We're going to be doing a lot more track stuff together. I basically asked them, can I get GoPros on the track bikes? And can we fly a drone in the velodrome? And guess what he said? Thumbs up. So we're going to do more of that stuff. We're going to do some great videos at the velodrome. Exciting times for the track riders and myself, because I'm really looking forward to doing some good videos in the track. Hey Michael. How you going, mate? How's things? Nice to meet you too. We're going to get coffee?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Today is track and more track. You guys ran a 6-day last week or the week before?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
So when's the next one?
So we're just going into planning for the next year's event.
Yep.
So it'll probably be on the same time next year. So I'm really taking on the social media and coverage point of view of it.
Okay.
And Craig's going to run the rest of it pretty much.
Are we going to make it huge?
Huge. Way bigger than this year.
Are we going to have gambling like they have at Ghent?
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. It could be on the cards, but yeah, time will tell.
Okay. So essentially what we want to do is the discussion that I had at the velodrome at Disc with the powers to be there was that we want to make track racing great, even better than what it is now. So we're going to have access to drones, and we're going to be able to put GoPros on bikes, and Michael and Craig are going to be organising a 6-day event for next year. So in Victoria, we're going to get track racing pumping again, and well, that's the hope anyway. But it's people like Michael who are really contributing to that cause.